Brings us to fight number 2. This is an atomweight junior Muay Thai title fight consisting of 3 2-minute rounds. Fighting out of the blue corner from Muay Thai Militia, please make some noise for Miles Madman Gillen.
Fight number 2 about to kick off. We've got a junior Muay Thai, 41 kilogram atomweight title, 3 2-minute rounds. Miles Gillen from Muay Thai Militia making his way.
Muay Thai Militia is Chris Johnson's gym, and Chris Johnson's been around for a long time, man. I remember he fought on a main event card that I fought when I was like on my first or second fight, you know, like probably third fight many years ago. Yeah. So he's a wealth of knowledge, man. He knows the sport inside out, so it'll be interesting to see how that transitions into his boys fighting here tonight.
One of the OGs of the Muay Thai scene here in Queensland. Well-respected figure in our sport.
Title is on the line here.
Getting a bit of technical knowledge there from Elliot Compton.
Just waiting for Michael Kennedy to start dropping them knowledge bombs.
Yeah, that's right. He's saving them up.
Yeah, he's keeping them all to himself is what he's letting the secrets out of the bag.
Yeah.
Still banking knowledge.
Starting to get a bit paranoid now, Michael.
Yeah. He actually said before he doesn't like you.
Oh, I was listening over there. I was actually listening in the back.
I'd like to watch it back and realise that we weren't on mute like any of the time.
Yeah, I don't know. What actually happened and what they're telling us might be 2 different things. Yeah,
Set up.
It's cool to see these young kids fighting with.
Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Miles
It's a good transition for when they get older.
Gillen!
You know, like the fear of fighting with elbows is not going to be the experience, you know.
Yeah.
And the big elbow pads, it just.
All right, and his opponents fighting out of the red corner from Elite MMA. Please make some noise for Alex O'Leary.
Alex O'Leary in the red corner, making his way down the ramp from Elite MMA. It is important, isn't it, to like have the fighters at a young age adapt themselves early to the rule set that they want to pursue later on, because I guess, I mean, from the outsider's point of view, I'm thinking fighting with elbows on, like there's a different range that you're able to operate at. Absolutely. Instead of being opposed to just
And the way you defend punches, everything, that your whole game changes. You know, it's like you can't just hide behind your guard, because all of a sudden now he's going to bridge the gap and start elbowing you. You know, it's like you really have to adapt your game. So if you come up through the ranks fighting without elbows, you're fighting modified Thai for, let's say you have a 30-fight amateur career before you turn pro at 18, then all of a sudden you got to change your whole style to suit. But so what was the point in having your amateur career to begin with? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It is almost like learning a whole new sport.
Miles Gillen's just left the cage for a minute. I think maybe he might have forgotten his mouth guard. Not entirely sure what's going on there, but I can tell you one thing. You see Alex O'Leary walking out, he is fired up for this fight, man.
Absolutely.
It's cool to see these kids excited to fight. They're not timid, they're not afraid, they're excited to fight. That's what this whole sport's about. If you're not out there having fun, you're not enjoying it, then this isn't the sport for you, you know?
It's such an important aspect, isn't it, Michael, from an early age to understand what's going to happen under the lights. Like you can train in the gym all day long, you could be the hero, but as soon as those lights come on, the music goes, and you walk down that, it's just
Here he is, ladies and gentlemen.
How big of a psychological
O'Leary!
advantage do you have having that experience of going through that several times?
Well, it helps you for all kinds of stuff.
Well, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is for all the marbles right now. The Atomweight Junior Beach Championship Muay Thai title.
Definitely helps for like your professional career as well, because if you have a bunch of amateur fights, if you learnt that pressure, then your pro career should be like, it should be quite easy to adapt to that, adapt to that pressure. You should be able to operate like normal.
How old were you when you first started fighting?
There it is, ladies and gentlemen, the first title fight of the evening. Make some noise for these two little warriors right now.
Not long afterwards. I think I had my first MMA comp when I think start of last year. So when I was 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's cool, man.
Yeah.
These kids are intense. This is going to be a great bout, man.
Back to your corners and come out fighting.
Title, Miles Gillen from Muay Thai Militia in the blue corner, Alex O'Leary from Elite MMA in the red corner. I'm excited, gentlemen.
This is going to be a real clash of styles from a traditional Muay Thai and Muay Thai Militia to more of a kickboxing background with the Elite gym.
Yep.
Interested to see how this one plays out. You can see from the stance already, you know, these kids have got a clash of styles. Miles Gillen getting after it early, you know. It's cool. Alex O'Leary stands his ground.
Ooh, some good knees from Miles Gillen.
Nice throw. Ben Holly separates the action. We're back on it again.
That's a good example of where we can see that the forgiveness of the cage doesn't really exist as opposed to the ropes.
Absolutely. This is the other difference too. You know, that throw there, if that was in a ring, he probably would have fell to the floor. But there, he was still fair game. You know, he was still up. So
nice teep there from Miles Gillen to kick the action off.
Seems like Miles Gillen favours that clinch. He's very good with his knees.
Yes.
Very good with cage pressure as well.
Absolutely. I'd like to see him start incorporating those elbows too, because I think Alex O'Leary's kind of getting a bit overwhelmed by the pressure at that range. And I think if he can keep that on, there's a nice left elbow on the inside there.
Cut out on those angles. Question mark.
Nice dodge.
I think Alex O'Leary's got great technique, but he needs to up the ante now. He needs to start putting some pressure back on Miles Gillen. The majority of the fight he spent on the back foot, you know, and it's not going to go well with the judges. He's got to come forward. There we go, starting to control the cage a little bit better now. It's cut some angles as Miles Gillen's coming forward.
I'm impressed with Alex's composure. He's weathering that early storm from Miles, and you know, just keeping his composure and picking his shots.
All right, we've got 30 seconds to go in round one. Make some noise, Breckenridge.
Big first round here from the boys in the junior Muay Thai 41 kilogram division. Miles getting straight back on that front foot, closing that distance. As we see Alex O'Leary firing back, but then again, the cage comes into play once again.
It's going to be interesting to see if Miles keeps this pressure up for rounds 2 and round 3. Nice slip / trip there. Nice right hand. That forward momentum is hard to. It's hard when you're already on your heels. It's hard to get back on the front foot. It's an epic round.
These boys are getting after it, eh? I'm getting really excited about this fight. I'm distorting the mic.
Alex is so composed between rounds. You know, he's just sat there, just taking a deep breath, just come back from that round, and you know, let's be honest, he lost that round 10-9 in my opinion. I haven't seen the open scoring yet, but in my opinion, he probably lost that round 10-9. But that doesn't mean that he's going to lose the fight. You know, he's got 2 more rounds. He's got the experience. I think his corner is going to tell him exactly what's needed, and he's got that composure, man. And I think he's going to bring that next round.
I think we should quickly bring up the open scoring because a lot of viewers at home may not be aware that this championship will be implementing the open scoring for the judges. So traditionally, the judges would just have what's called a closed scoring, and the fighters in the corners wouldn't know how the judges scored. But with Beast Championship, they've implemented a open scoring system where both the fighters and the corners are aware of how the judges scored the rounds. So how much is that going to play into the way the fighters approach the next round?
I think it massively. You know, like it's easy to think that you've won the round or you've lost the round. When you're in there, it's different, you know, emotion takes over and you don't look at things rationally. So if you've got an open scoring system on the outside that says, hey man, like you lost that last round 10-9, but you thought you won it, then, you know, like at least you know now, all right, I've got to bring the heat the next round. So, and I think that's exactly what's happening here with Alex. You know, he's playing a smart game. He's attacking the legs of Miles Gillen, taking that movement away from him. push kick from Alex. He's got to keep using that push kick, keep him away, keep him at range. It's clear that Miles wants to use the clinch.
Thank you.
As you see Alex O'Leary with his back on the mat, back up onto his feet. Alex O'Leary is getting on his front foot, isn't he? He's starting to really shoot forward.
Sure is it. Seems like Miles has started to slow down as the fight progresses. His gas tank maybe can't cope with that same pressure for the whole fight. And I think we're really seeing Alex using that range better. You know, he's using that push kick, keeping him away.
Oh, good
Nice right hand on the inside there.
It does seem like Miles is on the back foot a little bit more than last round.
Sure does.
Alex is really taking it to him. Again, picking him up against the cage. Miles Gillen is not giving up anything though. He might be on the back foot, but he's still trying to win this fight.
These kids are tough, man.
Yeah, man.
They're not backing down, either of them.
Right in front of us, both kids now. Big shots, big cracks. It's a slugfest, guys. It's an absolute war right now. I think both fighters really want this fight.
Absolutely.
So good to watch. Man, I'm getting chills, man. Right in front of us.
Saw some good cage control from Miles in that round when he was on the back foot, being able to circle around and take control of that cage once again.
Absolutely, man. So if you were Miles, what would you do moving into this next round, Michael Kennedy? What would you do?
I'd try to pick shots a little bit more wisely, as pick shots that would almost like scare your opponent so you get that front foot again.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, it's either you finish the fight, or it's how the refs see. And I think when you're on the front foot, it definitely gives you an advantage towards the refs' decision.
How long till we see you with one of these belts wrapped around your waist?
Hopefully not long.
Hopefully not long. Just go and take that one.
I'll be right back.
All right, round 3 coming up. Stand by. My guess is this is going to be a wild round. Both these boys are probably thinking they're 1 round each.
Yeah.
And whoever wins this 3rd round could potentially win the fight. So
that's a fair assessment, I think.
Seconds out for the 3rd and final round.
Both boys looking pretty fit still. Like they're not looking
gassed at all.
Yeah. They both look confident. They both look composed, man. I'm strapping myself in for this 3rd round.
I think Miles is going to look to initiate the clinch every time now. Just keep him there. You know, he's shown that Alex is probably not as comfortable in the clinch as he is. But Alex has just got to keep up a barrier in between, keep that push kick going, and keep those long straight punches, not let him get there, you know. Exactly like that. Try and keep his back off the fence. Yep. Try and control the center of the ring.
Good leg kick there.
Yeah, just keep attacking that front leg, upsetting his rhythm, upsetting his balance. Nice high kick.
I think Alex is really starting to understand Miles' distancing at the moment, man. He's just managing that really well, I find.
Alex is actually controlling the fight now, although he's technically on the back foot, probably more so than Miles. He's controlling the fight from the back foot. So a lot of that depends on how the judges score it. But if I was scoring this fight, I would still score that as Alex is controlling this round by drawing Miles and making him miss and then countering, you know.
This round seems very distant to the last 2 rounds we've seen.
All right, what an awesome fight from these 2 young up-and-coming warriors right now.
That'll score highly for Miles. I'm not sure if that's enough to win the round. You know, it's pretty close at the moment. It's 50-50.
And the crowd is very vocal about this fight. You can hear the support from both fighters. It's non-stop. It's non-stop.
Absolutely. These 2. Alex needs to just work a little bit more in that grapple. Remember, this is a Muay Thai rules fight. It's not a K1 fight. Yep. So he needs to be active in that grapple.
30 seconds to go. Let's go, boys.
Nice knees on the inside. Nice catch and sweep. Sneaky little knee on the ground there. Nice, Alex. You've got to keep that pressure on now.
Nice knees from Miles.
Disengage from that clinch. Don't let him get there. Nice punching from Miles. And these kids want it. This is a title fight.
Nice push kick.
What a war!
Good show of respect at the end there too. That's really cool to see. These kids can punch each other for 6 minutes non-stop and then still shake hands and hug it out after, man. That's what this sport's about. That's cool to see.
It's one of the hallmarks of the sport.
Absolutely.
And
both these guys are from respected gyms too. You know, they've been shown the ropes. They've been shown that this is how you carry yourself. This is how you behave as a martial artist.
Yeah.
And those values are important and they should never be lost.
100%. And that also obviously translates to them outside of the ring.
Cool. Man, Miles Gillen has literally left it all inside the cage. You know, he worked himself that hard that he just vomited. Man, that's cool. To push yourself to that point, man, that's, I mean, it's not cool for the next fighters, mind you.
That's commitment, man.
But, you know, 10 out of 10 for leaving it all in there, man.
Yeah. Look,
that's what it takes to be a champ, you know?
100%. Much respect.
Good job, Alex.
The winner and new Junior Atomweight Beast Championship Muay Thai champion from the blue corner, Miles the Madman Gillen.
And that was a close fight. That's a tough night at the office for Alex, you know.
No shame in that one.
I wouldn't be mad about seeing a rematch on that.
Oh, man.
You know, just because it was such a good fight, not for any other reason, and that was just a good back and forth battle with two young kids that wanted a belt, you know, man. That's cool to see.
Miles Gillen earned every single inch of that belt.
Absolutely. Left his lunch in the cage and everything.
Well, he's done now. He can go have dinner.
Yeah. I hope that guy's getting paid overtime just cleaning it.
He's done a good job. He's done a good job.
Yeah.
Got the sanitizer out and everything, right? Well done to both kids.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. What a great fight.
A lot of skill involved as well. It's good to see the amount of skill
Absolutely.
between these two fighters.
You wouldn't be trying to take that kid's lunch money in school, would you?
It's getting scary how good kids, like these younger fellas are getting, man. Like these younger athletes that are coming up, it's just like.
Absolutely, man. You think where's the sport going to be in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, when we got kids like this coming through, man?
Yeah, that's right. Well, like Michael Kennedy coming through, man. Like,
exactly.
You know, I've been doing jiu-jitsu since I was 3 years old. Like, man, come on, man, give someone else a go.
Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, your new champion, Miles the Madman Gillen.
Big congratulations to Michael Gillen, Muay Thai Militia, winning that 41 kilogram and atomweight title.
So, the Beast Muay Thai Atomweight champion, Miles the Madman. How's that sound, mate?
Good.
Yeah? How was your camp? Do you train nice and hard for tonight?
Yeah, I'd just like to give a big shout out to my dad. Thank you. He did good.
All right, you were up against a very tough opponent tonight, Alex O'Leary. So, what was your plan for the fight? To come out strong?
Well, last time I watched him fight on Beast, I saw a lot of teeps, so I was just planning to catch him and dump him. But yeah.
Catch him and dump him. We saw it happen a couple of times, so your plan worked. The champion, ladies and gentlemen, Miles the Madman Gillen.